Hello everybody and welcome to today's Destiny video. So today I'm going to be doing a bit of a loadout video. Now I wanted to just do a loadout video, literally just showing my perks, showing my guns, and then that was it. But I got an extremely decent decent because it's Mayhem Rumble, so it's not like super good, because if it was Rumble then it'll be way more impressive, but it's Mayhem Rumble, so it's more to do with luck. But still, I got a good game in Mayhem Rumble, so I figured I would show it at the end of this video. So first, let me just show you my loadout and then I will get to the gameplay. So starting with armor, we have got the Graviton Forfeit. I use this so I can use Shade Step along with another perk which I'll get to in a bit. That makes it so much easier to actually get away from sniper battles, because I'm using a sniper in this build, which means I want to be winning those sniper fights, and using Shade Step really helps with those sniper fights. So it's like stupidly useful. Now all of the other ones here are literally just strength related stuff. So as you can see, I've gone intellect strength of max intellect and basically max strength. So my grenades, well not my grenades, my melee, my smoke bombs actually recharge every 40 seconds, which is really helpful, by the way. I don't use my vortex grenades enough for it to matter, and 1 minute is just 20 seconds more than this, and that's usually about when I will use both of them. So it gives me a good flip-flop, so I can use my vortex and I can use my smoke at different intervals, and it means I've always got an ability to throw at somebody. That's my basic understanding around this anyway. Now let's get onto my guns. So as you can see, I've got Bad Juju on right now. I do swap this out really often. I use Bad Juju, No Time to Explain, Red Death, and I use Ludmilla D whenever I've got it on. I also sometimes use Hawk Moon depending on what mood I'm feeling. Usually I'm using pulse rifles because it's a meta. Why wouldn't I use a pulse rifle when every single person is using a pulse rifle? And pulse rifle has always been up there with my favourite guns. Bad Juju and Red Death, I've always loved using them, especially Bad Juju. I've always loved using Bad Juju. And now I can, but everybody else uses it, so everyone just thinks I'm playing the meta. But in fact, I've always used Bad Juju, I promise. Next up, we've got the Irene RR4. This is my favourite gun in the game. Just want to point that out. This is my favourite gun in the game at the moment. It's amazing. I really enjoy using it. This is the one I got from a gunsmith this week as well, and it looks really pretty as well. I'll show you it in the game in a second. But when I'm playing a 6v6 or a game without revives, apart from Rumble, because I like having luck in the chamber for Rumble, I use this one sometimes because of the target acquisition is really good, or aim assist, sorry, is really good on this gun in particular. So I do tend to switch out sometimes because short gaze scope is really handy for some encounters, whereas the scope on this gun is really good, but the circle's a little bit big, so you can't really get your aim great. Lastly, we've got the Hallowed Quillam's Terminus. Obviously, the hallowed bit doesn't really matter, but the actual gun itself is actually really impressive. I was previously using a gun which isn't in my inventory right now, the Baron's Ambition, I think it's called, but it just doesn't meet the standards of this beauty. This gun is just so good. It is so good. Okay, so now we've got for our guns and armor, let's have a look at our actual perks. So as you can see, I'm using Nightsmoker. It's my favourite subclass in the entire game at the moment, so I wouldn't not use this. Obviously, Quiver was nerfed, so you can't actually use Quiver anymore. It won't do anything. So now I'm using Black Hole until Quiver comes back. Quiver's just really good for PvP. Black Hole is actually good for trials, maybe not anything else though. So Black Hole I've got on for this. I'm using Vortex Grenade for that AoE, and it's really good for controlling areas. It's like super good for controlling areas. I'm using Triple Jump because Triple Jump. I'm using Black Hole because I just said. And Venomed because invisibility is almost pointless in PvP, and if you're going to use a smoke grenade, you're going to be throwing it at somebody to slow them down. Why would you want to throw an invisibility grenade at somebody if it's not going to do anything to them or you? There's no point to it. And if you are using Vanishing Smoke, I would seriously consider using Envenomed instead. Okay, for our actual stat distribution, I use full armor, a little bit of agility, and some recovery. I found that this balance is perfect. I've never found a problem with it, so I always keep it that way. Next up, we've got Lockdown. I use Lockdown to keep my grenades and smoke effects longer. That's just obvious. I want to keep control for longer, and if I can, that's what I'll do, because that's what this class is all about. This class is purely about control and knowing exactly where your opponents are and controlling where they're going to be. Lastly, we have got Keen Scout. This is probably one of the most overpowered perks in the game. It's basically a wall hack. You can just see where people are and people forget that they can be seen. If you've got a little red marker in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen which says hunted, it means that you've been tracked. So don't do anything like, don't go out of cover, because that hunter knows exactly where you are. There's no point in trying to trick them. They can see you perfectly clearly. And obviously I would be using Shade Step if I wasn't using this, but my Graviton forfeit grants that for me. So that is what I use in almost all PvP encounters. Even Trials of Osiris, I use this set out. I use Red Death Bow for Trials, like almost always. And I actually never use a shotgun in Trials unless I'm forced into it. But this is my class for PvP. A lot of you wanted to see this, so I figured I would do this video and then give you a decent game afterwards. And here is that decent game. I hope you guys enjoy. If you did, then please do drop a like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye, Guardians.
Okay.